We have Alex Espinos, all the way here from Spain. He runs an online consultancy firm focused mainly on digital strategy, web, and social media analytics. Museums are one of his firm's main areas of activity, and they work for the Salvador Dali Foundation, Barcelona's Contemporary Museum, and the National Art Museum of Catalonia's, among others. So welcome, Alex.
Good morning. We want to present a study we have been running for the last 10 months about how Twitter is really used among museums. The starting point of the study is that everybody talks about the changes social media have brought to museums, knowledge and experience sharing, information flow, and so on, but we don't have a real assessment of if this is true and to what extent, of it's still an unrealized possibility. So we want to answer several different questions. The first one and the main one is there is a worldwide community of museums at Twitter, or there are several different ones. And in the later case, there is a contemporary art museum, an archaeology art museum, or there are country or language related. If Twitter communities mimic offline relationships, and if the small world principle applies, that is, in a network you may not be connected to everyone, but if this principle applies, everybody is quite near to you. It's the popular 6 degrees of separation. And which one are the most influential museums, not but in terms of followers, but of real influence. So we have analyzed a big bunch of museums. We have started with a list of 1,800 museums from Museum Analytics, and we have monitored all the cross conversations for almost a year. We will close the study when we have a year of data. We have millions of tweets, around 150,000 interactions between museums. And the result, when we try to make a graph from it, is that mess. This is too crowded still to analyze the detail, to see the structure, and to see what is really happening. So we have to clean it, and we get to that, which is the core of the 400 or 500 most active museums. And here we have the first important fact. The structure is very, very country related. We can analyze the structure, then we put the country of the museum, and we have Netherlands, Spain, Mexico, France. There are clear boundaries for every country, and even countries that are not here. Here is Australia and New Zealand, here is Sweden. So the conversation takes place mainly inside the countries. Even in the case of the US and Britain that shares a common language, the conversation is country bounded. This is the same connection but over Google Earth, and we can see most of the connections between Europe and the US go through United Kingdom. So the United Kingdom, it's quite smaller as a museum community than the US, but plays a key role. This is we have cleaned up more, and this is about 100 museums. The very core one is still very country related. We can see here the big players in each country. And this is the American community. Now we have we have taken only the US museums, and we have applied the structure analysis from scratch. So we have different colors inside the US. The blue community is mainly formed, or the main players are New York museums, but you have museums from all over the country. And there are also area-related clusters from California, DC, dominated by the Smithsonian, and also Philadelphia and Boston and other places. There are 3 key players that are Metropolitan, Smithsonian, and MoMA, and then 7 other quite important museums in the Twitter talk. I'm always talking about influence among museums: Guggenheim, Getty, LACMA, Queens, San Francisco MoMA, Whitney, and National Gallery. And then the next list, it's about 20 or 30 more museums. Now we focus just on one museum. This is the community around MoMA. We can see all the museums that have been talking to MoMA within these 10 months. This is the US part. These are Britain museums. This is Dutch, this is Spanish, French, and this is Canadian. We can, if you're interested, we can make the picture for your museum because we have all the data available, and we have made some of them and put them on Twitter. This is the same for Tate Gallery, and it's quite interesting because we have a very strong relationship with the US, but also very strong relationship with the United Kingdom. Some Netherlands museums here, Italian museums that haven't shown up, Spanish museums, those are Barcelona museums, French from other countries. Tate plays an important role in sharing information, as does the British and Victoria and Albert in the United Kingdom. And just to end to last slides, this is the Museum Week initiative last week in Europe with about 600 museums from 4 different countries. And we analyzed almost in real time this huge number of tweets and analyzed the structure, the key players, if there was a real broad action, and it was really because about 40,000 users participating in the action. We have written a longer post about that. And just to close up, there is a small set of key players we have seen. So if you want to grow at Twitter, you have to analyze what they are doing and to relate to them. It's the easiest way to grow. And become a key player in your area. Your area can be your country, your language, or can be your topic, or can be your city and whereabouts. And connect your museum with the Make community. If you are in the UK or US, being bilingual could be a plus for relating to other museums. If you are not, it's a must. If you are in Spain, in France, you have to work in 2 languages at least. Use this kind of analysis to grow, to show, to detect opportunities and so on. And we will publish a final paper with much more detailing than that. And just to close, that was the talk here the day before yesterday. This is Museums on the Web profile, and that's all the Twitters with relationships around museums on the web only for the first day. We'll publish a final analysis next week.
All right, a few questions? I have one, actually. You talked about bilingual accounts. Who do you think is doing a really good job right now with multi-language?
I think there are Spanish and Italian museums that are working in their own language and also in English, like Palazzo Madama in Italy, and some Spanish museums also, that when they publish for final users, they usually use their own language. Sometimes they publish for foreign users, but they use English to talk to other museums and to share information.
A lot of the key players that you showed in various countries are the largest museums. So these are people that probably have staff dedicated to, doing that job. Yeah. Have you seen any sort of small or medium-sized museum that was actually doing well, considering that probably they don't have huge resources to put into social media?
Yes, maybe not so much in the US or the UK, but in the Museums on the Web Florence presentation, we focus more on Europe. And in Italy, Palazzo Madama is not a very big museum, and it was the top one of the list. And in Spain, you have Picasso Museum, which is very, very active, and it's quite a big museum, but it's not one of the 2 or 4 biggest ones. So it's a real opportunity if you are good at your area to have more relevance, to gather more relevance. Just one final question. We are interested in doing some case studies around a museum, so if you are also interested, just contact me.